Good morning, everyone. Had a nice little break, but welcome back to another episode of the Healing Hour. My name is Sarah Fargo O'Brien, and I am your host. We had a little bit of break. There was Thanksgiving 2 weeks ago, and last week I took the whole day off on Thursday. I had a bunch of personal things to do, appointments and errands and things like that. So here we are. It's been a couple of weeks. I had some great guests in November, so be sure to check out all of those episodes for new takes on old issues. And today I have another great guest and a dear friend of mine. Sharon Birn will be joining me, and we are going to be talking about tips for managing the holidays, the holiday expectations, especially if you have difficult family members, if you have a difficult relationship with your family or your in-laws, if you're estranged from your family. We're going to have some advice and some tips for you today. So Sharon and I were talking about backstage. We're both very passionate about this and definitely have things to say about it and want to provide, this healing space for people who don't have like a traditional situation or don't enjoy the holidays or don't really have family or don't have great families. And so this time of year could maybe bring up a lot of stuff for them, as it does for me. Let's see who's here. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for joining us from Canada. It's been right chilly here in Virginia. I'm not sure what it's been like up there. I actually just saw on the news that Richmond, Virginia, where I'm at, on the I-95 corridor running north and south on the east coast of Richmond, has received more snow than any place else on the 95 corridor. That's including New York and Boston and some other places up north. And so we've already had like 6 inches of snow here, which I know sounds like nothing, but it's a lot for Virginia, especially in December. So thank you for joining us, Andrew. If you're here, let me know. They have changed my Restream thing and put stuff in new places. I don't like that. So I'm kind of all over the place trying to find all my things this morning. I'm also coming from a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment this morning, sort of running around doing some things. So, that always kind of has me like, So let's take our 3 deep breaths. And then since we are having a real true power hour today, since I have psychotherapy client appointments after this, which I usually don't after the show, but it's the holidays, guys, and people are struggling. So they're reaching out for that extra time with their therapist. So if you need that, you do that too. So let's take 3 deep breaths and then I'll bring up Sharon and we will get started. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. Deep breathing helps us calm the nervous system, reduce cortisol, the feelings of stress and anxiety and being keyed up in our body sort of all relaxes with some deep breathing. So take 3 deep breaths with me. In through your nose, out through your mouth, slow exhale. Number 2, breathe in, breathe out. Number 3, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, grab your coffee, tea, water, whatever it is. We're going to get started. I'm going to try to do 2 things at once. Give me a round of applause for the ever amazing and brilliant Sharon Birn. Hold on. Boom.
Good morning, Sarah, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning. I'm throwing confetti at you.
I saw it. Thank you. That's probably the best welcome I've gotten in a long time.
I wish I had like a clap background, but I don't. All I have is confetti.
It's all good.
Figured it was
we both know somebody that does.
That's right. I know. I have to learn it. Jason's like beating us on the podcast game. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Sharon, thank you so much for being with me this morning. I appreciate having some face-to-face time with you. It's been a little while since we've had some face-to-face time.
It's been a real long while, and I am so grateful to be here, Sarah. Thank you for letting me and having me be here with you.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure. The holidays are a difficult time for a lot more people than people want maybe for people to know. you know.
Like,
You know, lots of people are happy and have family around, and that's real.
that's
But
right.
there's a lot of people, more than we probably realize on the regular,
That's right.
um, that that's not the case. And when they're out in the world, they're usually putting on or attempting and trying to put on that happy face because they don't want people to know what's really going on behind their closed doors in their mind and in their heart.
Right. It's the mask, right? Like we
Yeah,
learned how to mask like out there in the
absolutely.
world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This time of year though, it does make it harder for people to keep that mask on.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
People try hard, and I was one of those
same.
people for many years.
Same.
I no longer have to wear the mask around the holidays,
Right.
and that's why. Well, I always talk about this topic around the holidays in my posts on my lives, but I know that you and I have talked about this and many other things in the time that we've known each other. So when you asked me to do this, it was an honor and a no brainer. So
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So tell us, like, remind me again, where are you in the world and what is the work that you do?
Okay, so I actually am in very cold Long Island, New York,
Oh gosh.
and you're correct. We have not had snow other than a flake or two, but it feels like 15 degrees here today.
Ugh.
Yep,
That
because the winds are making it
win.
colder, but
Yes.
it's still a baseline cold. I think it was like 20 something
Oh,
cold. So yeah, so
that's
that's where I am. I'm in New York,
New
Long
York.
Island. And yeah, and so the work that I do, well, over the 11 years that I've been in business or had my entrepreneurship,
Wow.
I have shifted from
Of
one
course.
thing to another, like all many people do.
Like
But
entrepreneurs tend to do.
right,
Yes.
but the honest truth is, there's always been an underlying foundation, and that's humanity and people first,
Yeah.
um, and family, and and family. I just want to say, Sarah, because this is part of my work too. Family does not only mean the family you were born into.
That's right.
Family, and you're going to hear me say this a lot today, people, but family is about the family that you create through friends, through coworkers, through
That's right.
family does not only have to be defined by genetics.
That's right.
And that's actually one of the shifts that I made to make the holidays easier.
Yes. That's great. When did
So,
you make that shift for yourself?
to be honest, it was probably two times that I made that shift. One was when my parents moved to Florida permanently to reside in their retirement, because they were the cornerstone of making the holidays. My mother and my aunt, her older sister, were the cornerstone of making the holidays. And so things started to shift when they both moved to Florida to
Okay.
retire.
Yeah.
So I would say that I started to make the shift then, but it was still an evolution
Yeah.
from, like, I think they moved 15 years ago. So it was an evolution 15 years ago, probably to maybe even as recent as the last 5, where I really got solid. Because the other shift for me was when I unexpectedly got divorced. And I'm happily divorced, no disrespect to my ex-husband, but I say unexpectedly because it really was a shock to me. I did not see it coming,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So that particular event also shattered my. I'm very family oriented, and even now, with my family being scattered and some of my family members being estranged and some of them being extremely difficult,
Yeah.
um, I'm still very family oriented. I'm still very people. Let's get
People.
together.
Yes.
Let's celebrate the holidays. But it's not like I'm just going to share. It's not like that for me. In my neck of the woods, and it's not like that for a lot of your clients, and it's not like that for a lot of my clients. And as we were talking about a few minutes ago backstage, this is when our phone rings a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it doesn't other times of the year, but the holidays, everybody needs that extra support.
Yeah, they do. It
So
bring up a lot of stuff for people. Like from my own
yeah,
personal experience, it's like milestones, right? So
yeah,
anniversary days, birthdays,
anything.
holidays, like
Yep,
bring up the stuff. Like, and this
yep.
is just it's
Graduations,
right. All the
births.
milestones, like things that you
Yeah,
go through. And so it'd be nice, right? If that was just on Christmas Day, but it's like the whole month of December, you know,
yeah. It's the
it's a
whole month of
milestone of the
December,
year.
and for many, it's almost the whole month of January, because there are some families that they're scattered and they
Mm,
can't get together.
so it
So
spreads out then
it
too.
spreads out. I mean, I know families that start celebrating Thanksgiving the day before Thanksgiving, 2 days before Thanksgiving, and then it never seems to end.
It never seems to
But
end.
the
Yeah.
other piece of my work that people might not have noticed that I've recently, I'm a holistic. Uh, I've always been holistic. I don't believe that we can ask people to compartmentalize
Yeah.
themselves. Leave your leave your home at home, and leave your
Leave your
work at
work
work.
at work. Yeah,
You
right.
you can do that to a point, but you can't do that completely, because
Exactly.
then you're being asked to do something that's just not possible.
It's like counterintuitive
Yeah.
and then yeah, then again it's like masking somewhere.
Yeah, it's masking somewhere, and
Always.
it's not something that you can do completely. It's an impossibility. But
Agreed.
so one of the things that I realized, you always hear when people talk about health, even holistically, they talk about three areas. They talk about physical, mental, and spiritual, or nurturing your soul, right? But then I started thinking, nah, there's a fourth pillar,
Okay.
and that fourth pillar is financial. And
Oh,
yes, I'm going to say the money word,
yep.
because people,
Yep. That's a good
and
one.
this is relevant to
So
the
sorry.
holidays. It's really okay. Mine is groaning over here next to me, so they might be having a symphony of sorts. But what I started to realize is, and this is relevant to the holidays. It's very relevant to the holidays, because people have we all need this thing called money. We do, right? Our society needs this thing called money, because somewhere long before us, somebody decided that the thing we were going to need to access goods, services, social opportunities, everything, or almost everything, would be this tool of money, right? Some things in life are free. You don't have to have everything paid for when you're doing stuff socially, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
You need money for most things. Now, I don't want to, perseverate on the money thing in and of itself, but the reason this is relevant is it adds to the depression, the
Hmm.
anxiety of
Hmm.
this time of year,
That's very true. Right. And probably
because
not talked about enough.
everybody, and nobody talks about it. Money is a taboo topic. If people tell the truth, the down and dirty truth about their need and want for money, they are seen as greedy. They
Hmm.
are seen as not being full of gratitude. For those of
Hmm.
us that are in the human services field, we are told we do not have a heart of service. We
Right.
have, but again,
Money
and
makes the world go round, at least over
yeah,
here in the
and
West.
see,
Like,
I grew up like this, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't buy happiness. And that's all true.
sure.
Money does not buy happiness in and of itself. You can't walk in and say to a merchant, "Excuse me, but I'd like happiness today."
Right.
No, but
No.
money does give you access to happiness. Money gives you access
Absolutely.
to opportunities. Money,
Comforts.
we cannot be
Safety.
healthy. Exactly.
Yeah.
We cannot be truly healthy, holistically healthy, if we are not financially well. Because when people cannot pay their rent, cannot pay
Yeah.
their mortgage, cannot
Can't
get
pay their
food,
medical bills.
can't pay their medical bills, can't
Get food.
put food on their table,
Right.
and when people can't buy healthy food,
Yeah.
because healthy food
Is expensive.
is expensive. So I I'm still holistic in my approach, but I decided that I was going to liberate myself and liberate others in the process and allow people to talk about their financial circumstances. Now, that doesn't mean that I want people to be allow themselves to be victims or take on the victim role when it comes to their finances. But a lot of coaches, I'm sorry, coaches, but this is just an observation. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine.
That's right.
But a lot of coaches and a lot of therapists, and I'm a counselor and a coach, and I've probably been guilty of this myself. So it's not a
Sure. It's not a judgment. It's
right.
an
It's not a
observation.
judgment. It's an observation.
Yes.
So here's the thing. We tend to tell people you can't live, you don't want to live in the energy of your circumstances, and you want to live in the energy of your vision and where you want to go. And that is 1000% true. However, when it comes to your family situation, when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to anything you're dealing with, good or bad, by the way, but when you're dealing with the negative things, right? The more you try to suppress them and push them down and not talk about them, the more energy they get from you, and the more you have to work harder at pushing them down, as opposed to just saying, you know what, I can't make my bills this month, and that sucks.
Yeah.
What's wrong with saying that? Because
Nothing.
when you say it, you release it, and you can carry it you can take it with you and still make action steps happen that will get you closer to being able to pay your bills.
Right.
Small steps that will get, but the more you try to just say, no, I'm so happy this holiday season, I can buy the gifts I want, and I'm going to have family and friends and a big...
Right. And instead, deep down, you're like, I'm stressed. I can't pay for that. I don't have the energy. I got to work double. I have to miss the Christmas party because I have to work double. Right. Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah, and so the more we allow ourselves and people to talk, to express their circumstances and say it out loud. And then see, the other thing I realized about holiday time and life in general, but this all connects to this topic. So I'm going to keep it right here. What I realized over my years of growing up, but also after I became a counselor, more so after I became a coach and started working with people and doing the work and, continued work for myself.
That's
Here's
right.
what I realized. I mean, we probably all realize this, but we don't really realize it. So here we go. Ready? I hope you're ready for a mic drop moment. But we cannot control everything.
Boom.
But what we can do is look for the parts of the situation that we're experiencing that we can control and take action on that one piece. And then that one piece will lead to another piece.
Yep.
And you may never get to every piece, but what you'll discover is you don't need to get to every piece.
Right.
But if we look for the piece that we can control and we take action on that, we're going to feel a hell of a lot better than if we feel like, oh my God, I can't do anything. I'm never going to be able to pay my bills.
And some of that's a mindset, right? Like if you're telling yourself
totally,
like, I can't do anything, I'm never going to pay my bills. Then it's like you're saying, like you look at all the pieces at once and say, I could never get to all of them. And so then that prevents you from taking action on one thing that could have a trickle
exactly. And when you have a mindset like that, and it's not you doing it, I hate.
It's like you came with it. It's like you just have it. Yeah. It's like it's like pre-programmed.
I hate when people like feel like they're being, the thing is, the good news is we can truly change our perspective and our mindset.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy.
It's
definitely, but I will say it's simple. And I will also say this. One of the mistakes my clients make, and one of the mistakes that I made for years, is I felt like, okay, I'm a counselor, I'm a coach, I have all these skills, so I should never, I never said this but I had this crazy opinion that I should never struggle, because the minute I struggle, I should be able to use my coping skills and get myself out of my struggle.
Out of it. Yeah. Right.
Not true.
Not true.
Because that's not the human experience.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And
So
that would also be like, you got to do that all by yourself, right? It's not that you don't
yeah,
have the coping strategies, but it's like you're in in the negative mindset. You're in the bad space. You're in the pre-programming. You're in the old habit, old pattern, right?
yeah,
And it's like you're going to be able to pull yourself out of that because you also know coping skills on this side. No,
right,
we often need like a third party objective, a guide,
exactly.
a support, right? Like
And even if we
somebody.
can't find that third party objective, because that is, for me, that's one of the really strong coping mechanisms I use. But
Yes,
people aren't always available. But
it's true.
what we can do, journaling for a lot of my clients works, and it's one of
Yes.
my favorite things. You
Yep.
know why? Because paper or your computer screen, they don't talk back to you. They don't get hurt by what you're writing. And
Right.
then there's another cathartic step. You can save it and look back on it for when when you're struggling, go, oh, well, if I made it through that, heck, I got this.
Right.
But the other piece is you can rip it to shreds,
Mhm.
which I got to tell you,
Yeah, that too.
my clients, I literally will
Literally
have
ripping.
my clients in front of me on Zoom, in person. We will have a let's rip the fuck up party, pardon my language,
You
but
don't have to pardon it
and
here.
and we or we'll have a let's burn it to hell party,
Right.
because that's a way of letting go
And releasing it. Yeah,
and releasing
exactly.
it. And these are strategies you can use all year round, but these are the ones that I have found for myself and more importantly for my clients that are the most effective.
Yeah.
And if you can't find somebody to let you say it out loud to them, then say it out loud to a mirror. Because here's
Right.
something I learned from Mel Robbins. And I'll give Mel Robbins credit for because that woman has a lot of great things to say. And so she has this strategy called the high five or
Okay.
strategy. And I may not be saying this exactly as eloquently as she does, but she has this strategy where you go into the mirror every morning and you give yourself a high five and be like, I got this, you got this,
Right.
I see you.
Right, right,
But,
right.
but the point she made that is even deeper for me than that. I was blown away when she took this deeper. I don't know why it blew me away, but it did.
Right.
We're seeing our reflection, right?
Mhm.
But start to look at your reflection as another person, as another angle or another facet of you, almost like another person, like an out of body experience,
Right.
so that you can literally ask yourself, what do you, and this is part of the high five strategy as well, what do you need from me today to
Yeah.
support you to be the best? And it's a way
I
to
like
work
that.
on making the support you need intrinsic. And that does not mean you're never going to need external support. One of the human conditions that we need, one of the basic human conditions we need is connection.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The trouble happens when we assign the only way to get meaningful connection to the external,
Exactly.
especially,
Yeah.
and this is what I find gets amplified around holidays. Because if you watch TV, if you listen to radio, if you do anything, right? If you're
Mhm.
if you're out walking around, what do you see? You see all the decorations, you see all the pictures of family. There's no pictures of to represent
Yeah,
all of the types of families that are out there.
that's right.
Because if there were, oh, that's an idea. If there were, it would look a lot different.
Yeah, what?
But
Right.
here's the key. Here's the key. Let's talk some strategies because
Yeah.
if we don't, the hour will go.
Yeah, let's talk
Um,
some strategies.
and I want to talk just a couple of strategies, and I'm going to pepper. Sarah and I are going to salt and pepper and strategies throughout this whole hour.
Right.
Here's the thing. So if you have a difficult family, or if you have family that's estranged, or if you're like most families, you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to deal with Aunt Sally? Because that Aunt Sally, she's the one that can set everybody off, right?
Right.
Well, if there's no avoiding Aunt Sally, one of the strategies I use with my clients is we literally role playing
Okay.
for
Yeah.
the first few, like not the whole session, but parts of the sessions leading up to the event,
Right.
the encounter, as I like to call it. We role play.
To
And
prepare
yeah,
for the interaction with Aunt Sally.
yeah. And
Exactly. I do the same thing with my clients. What could you say if they say this? What
right,
could you do if this happens? Right? Like,
exactly. And
yes,
the thing about it is, we might not hit the role play exactly,
sure.
because you can't
Because you're not
know
actually
exactly
answering.
what Aunt Sally is going to say.
Exactly.
Although most of the time,
It's close.
you can know that relative. You can know you can know, or the family friend. You know where they're going to go,
Exactly.
pretty much. So if you can be prepared, you're going to be much better off.
That's right. Prepared.
I've had clients literally write cheat notes on their hands.
Yes. Yes.
You
I
know,
tell mine to do the same thing. Like, put it on your phone, go to the bathroom and take a break and read it.
yep.
Like nobody can bother you in the bathroom. That is my answer for everything. It's like you need a break from like whatever is happening
That's
in
my
here.
answer.
Just say you have to go to the
To my
bathroom.
clients. That's my answer in my own life. Excuse me, Mother Nature's calling.
Gotta
Gotta
go.
go.
Yeah, right. It's like what somebody's gonna say. Oh, no, no, no. You're just trying to exit this conversation. I literally have to pee.
And
So
even if they
goodbye.
say that,
Right. You can still go. You
I'm
can still
still
go.
going. I'm not responding, and I'm still
Exactly.
going because Mother Nature's calling,
That's right.
or my inner voice is calling, saying, "If you don't get out of here, you're going to respond in a way that you're going to regret." And here's the thing
Exactly.
about it: these people are they're like dynamite. They're trick. They're going to make you explode, and you don't want to explode because here's what happens, people. When you respond in a way that even you don't like to respond, but you respond in a human way. Like when people are angry, they yell.
Yeah,
When people are angry, they rage sometimes. But
that's right.
here's
When
what
people are
happens.
sad and upset, they rage.
Yeah, or they cry.
They cry.
I will share this. I am one of those people that if I'm really upset, I cry. I
Me
can't
too.
help it. The waterworks just
Me,
come.
me
And
too. I could
sometimes,
be pissed off and raging out and crying at the same time.
yeah, well, that's exactly. And I cry loud. I'm the ugly. When I'm upset, I'm an ugly
I'm an
crier.
ugly crier. Yeah, me too.
So, and that used to upset my family. Oh,
Oh,
why there she goes, gets hysterical. Here she goes, getting hysterical.
oh my
But
God. No.
what I learned, besides it was annoying and it pissed me off and
Exactly.
actually made the crying worse.
Exactly.
But okay, that was something they never got, and they probably still would never. But what I
Right.
learned through years of working with my counselor, honestly, was I was doing nothing wrong by having my human response.
Right.
But, and this is frustrating, people,
Hmm.
because I will say, I'm going to preface it by saying the thought that I had around this and the thought that my clients share with me is, why do I always have to be the one that uses the coping skills? Why can't other
Why do I have to
people?
be the bigger person? Why do I have to take it
Exactly.
on the chin? Yes, I
And
and I
here's
feel that
why.
way too, right? It's like, why can't I say what I want to say? That
Yep.
Aunt Sally can say whatever the hell she wants to say. Yeah.
And the truth is, here's the truth. The liberating truth is, you can say whatever the hell you want.
That's right.
You can say whatever the hell you want, and you can say it in any way that you want. But you have to be ready for the fact that it's not going to be well received.
Right. And you got to be able to live with your decision.
Exactly.
Right.
You've got to be prepared. But the beautiful thing about all of this, right, is you don't have to be silenced if you don't want to be. What I will what I will
I like
work
that.
with my clients on is to work on the how they say it. And
Yes.
not for everybody else.
Yes.
It does help everybody else, but it's really about helping yourself.
It really is. Yeah.
Because if you are known in your family to be a rager, a screamer, a hysterical crier, if that's the label they've given you, and they get you to that point, they're not going to take the time to say, well, what did I do to potentially help so and so get to this point, right? They are going to now start focusing on your behavior.
Yeah, that's right.
Not about how you're feeling, not about what they might have done to contribute to your feelings. It's going to
Ain't
be
that true?
all about your behavior. There he go. There Stephen goes again, exploding. There Sarah goes
Those
again.
again, being dramatic.
Yep.
Throat
And
punch
I
them.
want that to stop
Yeah.
for my clients. I don't want, I want you, my clients, and everybody out there watching us today. This is a when we can do this,
Hmm.
it's amazing because
Yeah.
when you get to the point that people can no longer focus on your behavior, they have to focus on how you're feeling. They may not let you know it.
There
They
you
may
go.
not let you know it,
That's right.
but
And they may not validate it,
exactly.
but they're probably going to hear it.
Yep. And if
Yeah.
they hear it, they may hear it with half an ear.
That's right.
Okay. But it's not the point. And it is a point, but the additional point is they can't blame your behavior.
Right. Yeah.
Your behavior is no, see, because when they can focus on your behavior,
It's easy. They can just like
you
sidestep whatever
are
they
the
do.
identified problem.
Right. You're the target. Right. Absolutely. It's not them. Yeah.
Nobody else had a role in setting you off.
Right.
You became dynamite all by yourself.
Yeah. Right. That
Yeah.
that's like real quick will make me want to turn into dynamite again. And it's
Mhm.
hard because it triggers that thing in me. And it's like, you motherfucker, that is not what happened here. But
And
it's
it's
like
not what I said.
it's
Yep.
not worth the energy. Like it's
Nope.
just not worth
And it
the
does. It
energy.
does. And my clients say that a lot, and I know that I've experienced a lot. It makes you even more want to. You get into a boat where you want to argue
Yeah.
more. Not that you want to argue, but you want to argue. You start arguing more because you're like, no, that's not what happened. That's not
That's
what
it.
I
You want
said.
to
And you
defend. You want to
want
be
somebody to
seen.
hear
Yeah.
what you really said, but it's not going to happen when
No,
everybody's in that mode.
that's right.
And
And it's
the
not gonna
other,
happen with Aunt Sally, who's never changed and is always
oh,
showing up the
exactly.
same way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like they're
Yep.
always gonna show up the same way. And if you do too, then they'll just, shift the blame. Like that's
Yep.
like you said, because
And
your
it
behavior
just
is an
becomes
easy thing to shift the blame on.
exactly. And it just becomes like kindling to a fire that you know
Yeah.
is eventually going to get started, you know? And
Yeah.
it's truly, I know when you're in the heat of it, it feels like it's worth it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
But
does.
I can tell you from years of working with clients, from years of doing the self work,
Yeah.
it's not worth it most of the time. I will tell you,
Yeah.
because we are human, sometimes it is 1000% worth it. You have to make the
That's
decision
right. Yeah.
for yourself of which is it. And
Hmm.
if it's that it's not worth it and that you're walking away and conceding because it's just not worth it,
Yeah.
you can walk away smiling with your head held high.
Right.
They'll think they won or they think they'll got you, but you know different.
That's right.
If you decide, well, hell,
I'm just
that's
gonna
it.
burn it all down. Right.
Yep. Then burn it all
Then
down
burn it all down.
and walk away with your head held
And
high.
walk away with your head held high, right? Live
Mhm.
with it, but know that like that was a decision you made. Either way, right? Like you were making the decision, they are not making it
You're in
for you.
control. Exactly. You are in control of your choices. And
Right.
that is where this is all, that's where it all stems from.
And I think with that, like you're in control of your choices, but you are not in control of the outcomes. So you're not in
Exactly.
control of how other people respond to your choices. Maybe
Mhm.
you shouldn't care. It depends on your relationship with the person. But if it's shitty Aunt Sally, then why care what she thinks, right? Like if you can live with it. And those are the things. Like you have to be able to live with your choices,
Mhm.
but you can't control the outcome. So you have to just live with that too.
Yep. You can, and the reason you can't control the outcome of the entire situation is because you can't control other people.
Yeah, right. I don't know how many times I say this.
Oh,
I mean, it's like a million.
I should just put it on repeat, like a repeating loop. You know, you can't control other people, but it's true. I know we want to think we can. We
I
want to
know.
think if we find those magic words, they're gonna get it.
I know.
But
God, I spent
and
years,
eventually, some
spent
people
years
do.
in that space. I spent a
Yeah.
long time there of like, maybe I will just like learn how to say it and describe it. And who knows? I'm linguistically phenomenal. I can write and
Mhm.
say all kinds of things. It's not that it's not understandable. It's not that I didn't
No.
explain it in a way that you can get it.
Yep.
It's that they are not hearing it, don't care to hear it, not
Yep.
absorbing it. It
Yep.
does not matter how you say it. It's not about how
It-
you're saying it. It's about their ability to receive it. And some
yeah.
just are not
It's about,
going to.
and I'm going to take a step further. It is about their ability to receive it, and it's also about their desire to receive it.
Yes.
Because sometimes
Yes.
people are capable of receiving something,
And choose not to.
but they don't want to.
Exactly. Yep.
Now,
And you got to like read the writing on the wall there. What like, and I've done that
yeah.
with my family. Like, and I made that decision in the end to burn it all down and then just
Mhm.
like walked away, because all the years I was the bigger person and didn't say it just wasn't working for me. So eventually it just all erupted.
Well,
And
that's exactly what happens, and
yeah,
that's what I was saying in the beginning of the podcast today. We cannot expect people, and we cannot expect ourselves to just keep stuffing stuff in because it becomes like a volcano.
yeah.
Volcanoes lay dormant for years.
And it could be years. That's the thing. I'm so glad that you said that, right? Because for me, like it'll sit for 3, 4, or 5 years. Like I think I'm doing it healthy. I'm trying to engage in this relationship in a
Mhm.
healthy way.
Yep,
I'm making, concessions here. I'm trying to get together there, all the while not paying attention to how it's making me feel or the stress like mounting up in it. Like, don't realize what I'm swallowing down because
yep,
I'm trying to keep the peace, but didn't realize it. Thought I was just like engaging in a relationship based on the way the relationship is, but it wasn't taking a step back to say, like, this isn't working or this isn't working for me or this doesn't your results that I want. And it can literally just like simmer there for years
yep,
before it like either explodes or comes into your awareness or
absolutely.
something like that.
But usually, or many, often, I don't want, often, it comes into our awareness, or for a lot of my clients, it comes into their awareness as they're exploding.
Oh yeah.
And they might have gotten signs before the
Right.
explosion, but they weren't able to see them
Right.
because their eyes were already seeing red. The
Yep.
smoke was already starting to come out of their ears.
Yep.
Because everybody has one or two members in their family that are the identified problem
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yep.
And if you are the identified problem, you could stand on your head, say the alphabet forwards and backwards,
And
doing
give everybody
everything
$1 million
everybody wants.
in gifts.
Yep. You can be doing what everything that everybody
Wants.
says they want
Right.
from you,
Right.
and it's still not going to be good enough.
Facts.
So here's the thing. How do we get through these difficult encounters? The role play has been one of the number one effective strategies that my clients have said have worked for them.
And
And
the
I
reason
have,
that works is the thing that you said earlier. That's planning ahead. That's
mm,
that's taking time to prepare for the things, events, and or people that you
mhm,
anticipate and really know from historical evidence of your own life are going to be difficult for
yep,
you, right?
yep,
Like
yep.
because whatever they're doing is difficult for you, right? So
Mhm.
preparing in advance, excellent strategy.
Visualization is
Yeah,
another strategy that my clients love because I help them do different visions, one where it completely explodes and erupts, and we follow what that looks like. And
right.
then we do visions where it works, where, they're
Like the way
using
that you want it, right? The
the
fairy tale.
strategies and they do it the way that we want. But here's the thing also when you can visualize it working out the way you want it to, you can, if you practice visualization when you don't need it and you
Right.
practice yourself, that's when it's going to become the most effective. So when you need it, I have been sitting at tables with clients and or with my own family or friends who are we're sitting around a table with difficult people, right? With people who are estranged from each other, where these two relatives are here, but they don't talk, they don't even look at each other, let alone, I mean, if
Right.
they could, they would steal each other's oxygen so they would be no longer in existence. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yep.
But I have been able to teach my clients, and I've been able to do this for myself, where I can sit at a table and be around these toxic people and these toxic relationships. And in my mind, I'm everything is working out.
Everything is fine.
And
Right.
even if it means that I'm not at that table,
Yeah.
sometimes in my mind, I'm at a completely different table. I'm with my best friend Joe. I'm with, you
Right.
know, other times I'm at the table with the people that are there. But in my mind, I get to write the narrative.
Right. Yeah.
So what it does is it keeps me at a healthy equilibrium so
Exactly.
that I cannot get set off or ignited
That's right.
by these situations.
And I think the thing that people like, I mean, we've said it, but it doesn't penetrate. You can't control other people. Because
Mhm,
often what will happen, even my psychotherapy clients I've been seeing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and we have this
mhm.
conversation every year at the holidays. It's like, but how do I get my mom to stop inviting us? How do I get my blah,
You
blah, blah?
don't.
How do I da 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 da? Well, how do I do that? And it's like, you don't do anything with that. You
Right.
just decide if you're going to tell your mom yes or no. Like
Exactly. You don't have to.
you can't do this or that. You just decide if you're going to go or not and make the time for it, right? You
Yep.
can't make sure it goes this way, or how do I make sure she doesn't invite me, or whatever. How do I make sure she does invite my spouse? You can't
You
control that.
don't.
But you can certainly choose not to go if your spouse is not invited, right? Like, but
Hmm.
you can't,
And
you can't
if
get your
that's your
mom to do
choice,
something different. You just can't.
and if that's your choice,
That's right.
feel good about it.
That's right. Yeah,
Make
right.
your
Don't feel bad because, oh, mom wants us there. Well, if mom wanted you
If
there
mom
that
really
bad, then
wanted
your
you there,
spouse
she'd
would.
invite you. She'd invite your spouse.
That's right. Right. I mean, so it's like, so
Let's
do
call a
something else
spade a
with your mom.
spade. Let's call a spade a spade.
That's right.
Your mom could be the bigger person and say, for the holidays, we're gonna sit down, have a meal, whatever.
Sure.
But if your mom can't do that, but here's the thing: if that's what happens, if you make the choice, the healthier choice for yourself, you decide is not to go,
Right.
make your own traditions.
Yeah, and then don't feel guilty about not meeting the
No,
expectations of somebody else. The thing I always like to say is like, they're not meeting your expectations, are they? Like, you might be expecting them
exactly.
to at some point like include your spouse or be nice about it or whatever it is that you are like, how do I get so and so to do blah blah blah, right? Like you could be over there going like, well, that's just crap. And
Yep.
so if they're not meeting your expectations, why do you feel so
Then
much
you
weight and pressure to meet their expectations and then
exactly,
feel guilty if you're not meeting their expectations? The guilt is the
exactly,
thing
and
I have to deal with my clients a lot. Like they might make the decision then, but then they feel really bad about it.
right. And that's another thing I want to help people and my clients get over. When you make a decision, there might be a little piece of you that feels bad about it because you're human. But I
And it's
won't.
different.
Right. I don't want you to feel so bad about it that you're putting extra stress on yourself. So you're ruining, in essence, you're ruining your holiday, because if you
Yeah,
would have gone, your holiday wouldn't have been what you wanted it to be either. And
exactly.
and so this is why I'm really big on creating your own uh,
Family.
ecosystem
Yeah,
around, and
that's
your
right.
own traditions around the holidays. And for this, I'm going to use myself as an example because it's really the strongest example I have. So, for those of you that might be out there that don't know, I have a disability and I'm a full time wheelchair user. And I, all my life, have gone to my relatives' homes they're not accessible. And I don't expect my relatives' homes to be accessible.
Right.
They don't have to think about making their home accessible for me when
Right.
I'm not there on an everyday basis.
Fair.
That
Fair.
being said, there's only a few members of my family that felt comfortable assisting me in navigating non accessible environments. So if those people are not there, you know, and I used to feel very badly because I like being around my family. I grew up with holidays being this thing, this big thing, and it was fun. But here's the thing: When I became an adult, I got my own place. And obviously, it's accessible to my needs.
Yes.
And I started inviting people to my home
That's right.
for the holidays. Can I tell you that people came once
Mm.
and I would invite, and I
Mm-hmm.
would invite,
Mm-hmm.
I would invite. And then I can't tell you exactly when the hammer hit me over the head. And I was like, you know what?
I'm
I'm done with you people.
done.
I'm not
Yeah.
inviting you to anymore.
Good.
Because
Yeah.
ever since I moved into my home, I let everybody know, friends, family, whoever, I have an open door policy. Yes, it means to hang out with me and my family. You might be coming to my place more, but that's so that I can be independent and
Yes.
not have to worry about safety and hurting
Yes.
you from helping me. So, okay. And I thought, this is going to be great,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
No, no. What it did was put me into a very deep depression
Mm.
around milestones,
Mm.
holidays, even other times, but the holidays were really hard. So you know what I started doing? And again, I can't give you the exact okay, I had the epiphany and in 19 or in
Right.
20,
Get it. Switch.
I
Yeah.
can't
Right. Yeah.
pinpoint exactly when it happened. But so I started saying, all right, I'm gonna make the best of this and I'm gonna make my own traditions and my own my own just my own rhythm
Yeah.
for the holidays, right? So Thanksgiving, I me and my son, who's 21, were very much alone. After I got divorced, we were very much alone. For a few years, we had friends inviting us, and then it all of a sudden became, oh my God, she's contaminated. She went through a divorce, so no, thank you.
Nice.
But it also just got hard because I had to wait for, if I wanted to leave, I had to wait for somebody to help me out because it wasn't accessible. And I'd be like, no, I want to leave, please. I have to
Right.
go home. And they'd be like, yeah, just let me clean up first. And an
Right.
hour later, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The reason I bring this up is because here's what I look. So somebody called me and said, so what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And I said, I'm not doing a darned thing. You're going to be running all over the place. And what I'm doing is cooking homemade mac and cheese
Mm.
because my son doesn't eat traditional, Thanksgiving food.
I'll take homemade mac and cheese. I always have that at my Thanksgiving, anyways.
Exactly, but we just make it the main the
You
main
just make it
thing.
the main thing. Screw the turkey. We're having mac and cheese. That sounds good.
Exactly. So my son and I work together to make the mac and cheese.
Nice.
We turn up the music, and,
Nice.
and we just and it's been a thing for like
I like
uh,
it.
you know
That's your
after the
Thanksgiving thing.
that's yeah. And the rest of my Thanksgiving thing is really I have a date with my bed, so I don't have to be in my wheelchair,
I love it.
and a good book.
Oh, good. That sounds good.
And so
That sounds restorative for you on a
yeah, and I
on a
do
day
the
off.
same, and I do the same because I don't take many days off being an
Exactly.
entrepreneur. So and Christmas, everything is closed on Christmas, just about.
Yes.
Okay. So I where I used to dread Christmas because I grew up in an interfaith family, so we celebrated every holiday known to man, and Christmas was a big deal for us. We would go to my aunt and uncle were Catholic, my cousins were very Catholic, and they made Christmas a big deal. So we would
Right.
spend Christmas Eve with them, Christmas Day with them,
Right.
and so it really was very depressing when
Mhm.
that stopped happening.
Yeah.
And
I
it
can
stopped
imagine.
happening long before, my parents and they moved to Florida. It stopped happening at the level it did because we all grew up and got married and had adult lives, so we didn't come together as much. And so I again, Christmas Day, I'll crank up the music. I'll I'll sleep because I don't sleep well because of
Right.
medical issues. So,
Yep.
but if my body is at a point where it needs to sleep,
You'll
I
sleep.
will sleep till
Yeah.
2 in the afternoon if that's what my body needs. And I
Mhm.
say this to you guys because I want you to change the narrative of the holiday. And it's not easy. I'm
Yeah, no,
telling you, it's not easy.
easy. Yeah.
And when you first start doing it, you're really going to have to think about every step you're taking.
Yeah. Planning, right? This is what we're
Yep.
talking about. Making a
Yeah,
plan
but
for
even within the doing, besides
yourself
the
within the
planning,
doing. Yes.
you're going to have to think through what you're doing. And the strategy I use for this and everything else, if you have a task in your life like laundry or doing dishes that you don't like to do, and you get distracted by your thoughts, because I don't know about most of you, but I have a brain that races. It just races all day long.
That's partly why I turn the music up loud and sing so
Yep.
that my mind has something to do
Well,
and
that's
my
what
brain's
so that's
can't take
exactly what
over
I
right
do too. But the other thing I do, and the other thing that my clients say, they thought I was like crazy when I said this, but apparently a lot of them have
now.
taken
Taking it on.
to
Yeah, and it
taken
works.
it on. So I will literally say, I'm folding the laundry right now. Oh, I'm folding this t-shirt right now. And I will make myself focus
Be
on
mindful of
what
that
I
thing
am
in
doing
that moment. Yeah.
because
Right.
it helps me be present, which is always a good thing because we lose the present to our thoughts,
Yep.
but it also distracts all the noise.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And it really, I mean, when I didn't even realize I was doing it and that it became something I just naturally did. I don't even know how I wound up
Right.
doing it. But when I realized, and I started, and this is the thing, for my clients, I tell them, I do not, the strategies I offer you are
Hmm.
strategies that I have tried. That
Hmm.
does not mean that they all work for me, but
Right.
I've gotten to understand the concept behind them and why they don't work for me because I get curious. So
Hmm.
I'm going to offer you these strategies and they may not work for you.
Exactly.
And
Right.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
And
And
that's
you know
okay.
what? You may have a strategy that works for you, but today it's not working. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean it'll never work again.
Right.
It
Right.
just
Right.
means it needs support.
That's
Either you
right.
need to put it off to the side or you need to fortify it with
Add to
other
it. Yeah.
support mechanisms
Yeah.
because it's not a one and done. It's not a
Exactly.
one and done.
Yeah.
And some strategies that you develop for yourself may work for a long time and then all of a sudden stop working. And that's
Yes.
okay because we evolve.
We evolve. Yeah. That's exactly right.
And I encourage people to go back to the old mechanism that worked and then didn't work because again, as we evolve, so instead of throwing it away forever,
Hmm.
you leave it at the bottom of your toolbox and you pick
That's
it
right.
up every once in a while
That's right.
and you see if it works.
That's
Because
right.
this is the way I say this. My clients have a toolbox that's lightweight but is full
It's full. Yeah.
of coping strategies.
Right. And yeah. And then not everything works in every situation or not
No, you have
everything
to.
works for
There's so
every
many
emotion. Yeah.
there's so many variables, and that's why you have to be adaptable and flexible with your coping strategies.
And you have to be able to try things that you wouldn't think of or that
Yep,
are suggested to you to figure out if they work. Right.
exactly.
Like,
And I've had clients who I suggest something to them based on success with another client or with myself,
sure.
and they go, "Oh, well, that didn't work, but I did it this way and it worked." And I'm like,
Cool. Great.
"Do it that way." And now I'm taking that
Yeah. Right.
and
And I
I'm
can
taking
offer it to
your
somebody else.
variation
Yeah.
and
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
going to give it to someone else. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
But it
Yeah.
really
And
starts
you're really
right
hitting it
here.
too. Like,
It starts right here with you, with us. You don't need somebody to validate how you feel.
right.
It's nice
You
to get
want to.
validation,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're always going to want it, and we're always at times going to need it.
That's
But
right.
the truth is, I don't have to. People don't have to understand what goes into me having to navigate an inaccessible environment, right? They
Right.
don't. People are very opinionated about that stuff. Family, friends, strangers.
Right.
And I used to be very affected by that in a
Yeah.
negative way.
Yeah.
Now, most days, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm never affected by it, but most times I'm like, I'm so grateful for you that you don't know what this is like. And may you never know what this is like.
You never know what this is like.
But I'm still going to speak my truth.
That's right. It's still my experience.
Right.
Yeah.
But for so long, Sarah, I didn't speak my experience.
Right.
Because I wanted to keep the peace, didn't want to hurt anybody.
Wanted to be included.
And I also didn't want to hear how I was playing the victim and looking for excuses and blowing things up in my head. No. There's a difference between playing a victim or being over dramatic and speaking factual truth.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to agree with my factual truth. It would be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did.
Right.
But it doesn't have to happen.
Not necessary. Yeah.
In order for me to live a full and complete life with my head held high instead of buried in the sand.
I love that. We're going to end right on there since we're close, but I want to ask you one final question before we jump out. What is one value you live by, Sharon?
Ooh. So if I had to answer that question, and it's something I've said throughout this podcast, the value I live by is speak your truth. Show up. I show up authentically as I am.
Love it.
If you don't accept me, if you can't accept all of me, I'm sorry.
But I can't siphon off that part of me just because you don't like it.
I feel like it's something that I need to improve upon or want to improve upon, I am more than happy to work on it. But if I feel that I do. Because if you expect me to accept you for all of you and all your faults, this is one thing my family says a lot, and I can't stand it. Well, you have to know this person, this is how they are, and you just have to accept it. And then I look at these people and I go, if I have to accept Aunt Sally, why doesn't Aunt Sally have to accept me?
This is my whole point with you're the people that feel guilty that you're not meeting their expectations, but it's not doing this in the reverse. They don't feel guilty that they're not meeting your expectations.
Exactly.
So why are you spending energy on it?
Yes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I'm not saying that so that people go tit for tat with each other, because that doesn't solve anything.
No, that doesn't.
But in your head, these are the narratives that you have to start that will benefit you. And please don't think it's going to happen you're going to start saying this stuff and it's magically going to just change everything. It's not.
It's not. But it's a start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're open that today we gave you some things to start considering. And if you're following my posts this month, and it's start considering your relationships with people, your interactions with them. Are you okay with it? How do you feel afterwards? Even if you don't make a behavioral or action change this year, you can start to think about these things and maybe what feels true to you and maybe what would be nice to change. And then next year you can work on doing that and spend some more time. You don't have to change it all right now to start considering what maybe will work better for you.
I know we're ending, but on that note, for people who are, thinking about it, one of the best strategies that I learned from, in my being prepared to become a counselor and all that stuff, and one of the best strategies that my clients say really works is the sentence, "It would be nice." So,
yes,
if you could, it is such a powerful reframe, and it's pretty simple. But if you can say, "It would be nice if my father would stop talking and not get mad at me for being verbose when he's one of the more verbose persons I've ever met in my life." All right. Or if Aunt Sally could just, it would be nice.
Right.
It would be nice, but odds are she's not going to do it. So, oh well.
I agree. It does help with the reframe, right? To say it would be nice. However, that's not how it is. And that can just sit there.
And you could put the if. It would be nice if, because putting the if in there helps.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. And the other thing before we end, please, if you need help, especially during the holidays, but any time of year. It is not a weakness to reach out for help.
Right.
But getting help is how we level up.
That's how we get empowered, right?
Exactly.
You're right. That is how we level
So
up.
reach out to Sarah. She's phenomenal. And reach out to me.
She's
You know,
phenomenal,
well,
indeed.
thank you. But seriously,
Yeah.
we're in
You don't
this.
have to walk it alone.
You know, you're not alone. And if it's not us, and I tell my clients this, if I'm not doing it for you, if I'm not the right match for you,
Right.
just go to someone else.
That's right.
Because it's just, we all need support.
That's right.
And external support can, if it's the right support for you, can make all the difference in the world.
That's right.
But it really does start from inside you. And I know that's going to frustrate a lot of people
Exactly.
listening.
They're not, because they want to, like, how do I get my mom? How do I whatever? And it's like, well, you don't really change any of that, but you start with you. Exactly. And then
you change how you look at it.
What unfolds.
So how you change, how you get your mom to change really quickly. And I know you got to go really quickly. If you know your mom's not going to change and your mom's not going to invite your spouse, you tell your mom, I'm coming with my spouse for 1 hour.
Right.
If you accept that, we'll be there. If you don't,
we won't.
We're not. Exactly. Or you choose not to come. But these are the ways you
can do it differently.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. That's what Sarah and I mean by you're not going to change other people, but you can offer other people alternatives that you can manage.
That's right. That's
and
right.
If they don't take it, that's on them.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, Sharon, so much
Thank
for your
you.
time and your insights. Thank you for everybody joining us, Leanna, Andrew, and anybody who is here. We'll catch your messages on the backside. I will be back next week. It will just be me, but I'm going to share some more tips and strategies for managing and some more of my own personal antidotes. So be sure to catch me next week. Thank you, Sharon. I'll see you guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everybody. Have the best holiday season that you can, and know that we're here to support you all, and you're not alone.
Exactly. That's great. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.